Welcome to my Purple Nightblade Assassin guide. This is not a re-upload of the old video. It's a brand new video that which purpose is to replace the old one. My old guide was the second guide that I uploaded to the channel, and after uploading 10 more guides, I think I've gotten a little bit better when it comes to making guide videos. So I think it was time to update this one. And there are three main reasons. The first reason, as I say, I think I've gotten a bit more practice, and now the guides I try to put as much information as possible in different steps, but to talk about not only the spells and the equipment, but the attributes as well, and some different options that you can use. The second reason is that the old guide I uploaded 2 months ago, and I only had very basic equipment, so I used the same equipment from my Warlock to this guide, which is okay as a starting point, but you can definitely use much better equipment, and now I have some of a bit better equipment to show. And the third reason are the spells. With the old video, I just went from with the basic configuration, but in this video, I want to talk about some options on when you get your build to a higher level with better mastery and better equipment, some options that you can consider. So let's start with the guide. First, let's go to the tavern, your citadel. This is a dark element build, and it's an elemental build. So you want to put all your points in dark mastery. This will not only increase the amount of mana you get every time you match gems, but also the damage that you deal with your elemental spells. Next, let's talk about the spells themselves. So in my old guide, the basic configuration that I used was this one, which is an excellent starting point. So Channel Darkness, Nightblade, which is the nuke spell. I call a nuke spell those spells that increase the damage depending on the number of color gems on the board. So the more gems you can generate, the more damage it deals. As you can see, at maximum rarity of Ancient Mythic is plus 11% per purple gem on the board. If you can have 40 purple gems, for example, this will increase the damage by 440%, which is not a small amount. And for the other two spells, use Darkness and Dark Eyes. So three generators that will allow you to flood the board with purple gems, and then one nuke spell. This, I think, is a good starting point. Later on, you can add other spells. For example, you can add Creeping Terror. It deals dark damage and applies terror on your opponent. If the enemy already has terror, it will reduce their power. And together with that spell, you can use here, Unnerving Strike, deals dark damage, and if the enemy has terror, creates purple gems. It's only at common rarity, but at maximum rarity, it creates 9 purple gems. So these are two spells that work very well together and you can use. Another spell that you can use is Climb the Peak. This was released in the last season, 4.1, and converts blue gems into big 3 blue gems and gains a lot of power. Remember that power will increase both your physical and your elemental damage. This is an elemental build, so we don't care about physical damage, but increasing the power has a huge impact on your next strikes with your spells. Now, this spell has a huge synergy together with Dark Eyes because Climb the Peak will generate big blue gems that then you can transform into big purple gems with Dark Eyes. So this is the configuration I'm going to use for this example. Let's put Climb the Peak in position 1, and I'm only going to use 2 generators. But if you need more, definitely start with more generators and then adapt with these spells, or as I said, to use Creeping Terror together with Unnerving Strike. Just browse the different purple spells that you have at your disposal. Next, let's talk about the ultimate skill for the assassin. It generates 2 shadow gems for each level. So at level 1 it generates 2, level 2 generates 4, level 3 generates 6. And each shadow gem increases the damage the enemy takes by 20%. So level 1 increases it by 40%, level 2 is 80%, and level 3 is 120%. Again, these are not small numbers. So you can itemize your build towards generating a lot of shadow gems or not. That's up to you. But I think it's something important to consider that this build is not only that Nightblade increases the damage a lot, depending on the number of purple gems, but also the ultimate has a big impact on your damage output. So let's start with the items. As usual, my number one recommendation is to start with a bone ring so you can start putting starting mana. Later on, when you have more than enough starting mana, you can replace the bone ring with something else or keep it. Personally, I like to use bone rings on all my builds. Next is the night set. And this is where you have to take one big decision. The night set items, the set bonuses for 2 pieces, increases, gives you a chance every time you cast a spell to create 2 purple gems. Remember that more purple gems means more Nightblade damage. And the fourth set gives you a chance to gain mana for your ultimate spell every time you cast a regular spell. This means not when you cast your ultimate, only your 4 regular spells. So, if you want to go for generating as much mana as possible for your ultimate spell so you can cast many shadow gems, you want to use 4 pieces of equipment from the night set. If you don't care so much about the shadow gems, then I recommend 2 pieces. If you're going to go with 2 pieces, the best ones are the ring, that will increase your dark damage bonus every time you match purple gems. This is the best item in the set. And the second best item, in my opinion, are the boots, that will increase your speed depending on your dark damage bonus. So if you're going to go with only 2 items, go with the ring and the boots. If we are going to go with 4, then I recommend you use the amulet and the cloak. Again, in my opinion, these are the 4 bests. The other 2, the Night Wand is a pretty bad weapon, and there are very good weapons that you can use for this build. And lastly is the mask, which is the headgear that is also not very good, but just like the weapon, there are much better options. Now, for this video, for this example, I'm only going to use 2 pieces of equipment. So I'm only going to use the ring and the boots, but consider that using 4 of them will help you generate shadow gems much faster. Next, as I mentioned, the weapon. If you want to generate uh, your ultimate spell gems, what was the name again? Shadow gems faster, then the Castuli crossbow is an excellent piece of equipment. It will generate, it says ultimate spell power, it means mana. It generates 20 mana every time you match a big 5 purple gem. So it will ramp up your generation for the shadow gems really, really fast. However, for a build like this, that I call a nuke build, hands down the best weapon you can use is the Dragon King axe. The problem with the Dragon King axe is that is the rarest piece of equipment in this game. I just made a guide for the Dragon King's Prize Adventure, which is the only place where you can find it. And find it is not too difficult, but refining it to maximum quality takes a lot of time and a lot of resources. So yes, this is the best weapon for this build, but keep in mind that this is a long-term investment. If you want to use a weapon that is not as strong, but definitely a very good second option, then my recommendation is to use the runic mace. The runic mace starts not very strong because it increases your power depending on your dark mastery, and when you start, your dark mastery is going to be low, but the more you invest points in your citadel in dark mastery and the better equipment you get, the more dark mastery you will have, and therefore the more power you will have. So it's an excellent piece of equipment. Again, for this video, due to the fact that I'm not using 4 pieces of the knight set, I'm going to use the crossbow. But as I said, the runic mace is the second best option, and if you can afford the Dragon King axe, go for it, but remember that it's very, very expensive. The runic mace can be crafted, so you can get a maxed out runic mace way faster than the Dragon King axe, and way cheaper as well. Next, let's talk about the belt. For any elemental build, the best belt, in my opinion, is the Trax belt. Increases power if your speed is higher than the enemy. Remember that your boots are giving you speed depending on your dark damage bonus. So most of the time you will have a higher speed than your opponent. So I'm going to put it on. But if you don't have a Trax belt, there are other options. It's just that this one is not that hard to find. It's not very easy either, but it's not the hardest one to find. It's in season 2.2 and is a very, very good starting option. Next, let's talk about the helm. If you can obtain a Flame Tree helm, this is from season 1.2, you can start with an additional 14 points of starting mana for your purple spells. But it's not very easy to find. Another option is the Track helm, and yes, this is from season 2.2, is the same set as the belt. And this helm will allow you to start the fight with haste, and haste will increase the amount of mana you get from matches by 50%, which is excellent when you start. Now, regarding the spells, if you start with this basic configuration that I mentioned before, none of your spells is particularly expensive. Channel Darkness is the highest mana cost one, and it's only 135. Nightblade is 110, Darkness is also 110, and Dark Eyes is only 95. If you use climb the peak is 150, which is a bit higher, but it's not outrageously higher. However, if you want to use Creeping Terror, it's only 130, but together with an Urban Strike, this one is 170. So none of these spells is, oh my god, I need so much mana, but they're not the cheapest ones either. So that's something that you may consider. If you have a good track helm, put it on. And obviously, the always present option of the Casualty Helm that will give you barrier when you start the fight, halving the damage you get from the first hit. All those are very good options. Next, let's talk about the Ancient Dragon set. I have a video about this set, and this is the, in my opinion, best set for all monochrome builds. So every build that uses a single color can benefit from this set. The two set bonus will generate 4 gems here at Mythic Rarity. It will generate 4 gems in a mix of colors based on equipped spell colors, but obviously if you only have one color, it will be 4 gems of the spells that you're using, in this case, purple. Please watch my video on the Ancient Dragon set, where I explain each piece of equipment. So, if you are not using 4 knight pieces, then my recommendation is that you use the chest piece, which is the Mirror of the Forgotten, together with the arm piece. I don't have the arm piece, which is this one, Vambraces of the Caged. The Mirror of the Forgotten can be obtained in Season 3.1 and the Vambraces in 3.2. But because I don't have them, I'm going to use the helmet instead. Okay? So I can show you how this set works. As you can see, now the set bonus is activated for these 2 pieces. But as I said, if you're not using 4 knight set bonus, then the chest and the arms piece will be the best. If you're using the 4 knight pieces, meaning you're using the amulet and the cloak, obviously you cannot use the Mirror of the Forgotten with that one. In that case, my recommendation would be to use the vambraces or the arm piece together with the shield, which is the Guard of the Belligerent. But I don't have either one of them, so I'm going to use these 2 pieces instead. And everything else in your build is pretty much negotiable. You can use anything you have. As usual, you want to prioritize your dark starting mana. Right now I have only 52%, so I need to add a little bit more. And when it comes to offense stats, you want to increase your dark damage. I have 0% with these pieces of equipment, but all your damage is going to be dark elemental damage, so this is what you want to look for. So I'm going to use for the Shield of Anthrite, because it has both dark starting mana and dark damage, so it's excellent for this example. For the shoulders, I don't know if I have anything uh, from the guard set. Yeah, this one has dark starting mana from my warlock, so I'm gonna use it. For this one, I think this one, yes, it has dark damage as well as dark starting mana, so I'm also going to use them. For the pants, this one has dark starting mana, but I rather look for dark damage. Let's see if I have anything. Yes, I have these royal leggings with power and dark damage, so let's put them on. And finally, let's see how much dark starting mana I have. I think I have 80%. Yes. Okay, so let's use dark damage resistance, and this one has dark damage, so yeah, let's equip it. Okay, so with this equipment that I have right now, I have 80% dark starting mana, which is excellent. For the offense stats, I have 33% dark damage, not much, but not too bad either. And as usual, when it comes to attributes, also look for power on each piece of equipment that you're using for your armors. Like this one doesn't have power, the armor doesn't have power either, and yeah, this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. But you want to have power on each of the six armor pieces, dark damage on all of them if you can afford it, of course, enough starting mana to get you going. And when it comes to defense stats, you can invest some in melee and missile resistance. Or if you want to just YOLO it, go with experience bonus, which is always fun to have a um, glass cannon build like that. Okay, and that's the basic concept of the build. So let's see it in action. Let's go to dungeons. I don't know if I will be able to survive a level 100, so I'm going to lower the difficulty just in case. I can probably deal a lot of damage, but let's not take unnecessary risks. Okay, so with this one, we can go like this and like this, and I want to burn all the dark ones. So, okay, let's go like this. Let's see if I can survive one hit. I should be able. Okay, that was perfect. Too many skulls right now here, but okay, it's all right. So we start with climb the peak. Perfect. It generated these 5 big gems. Now with dark eyes, we transform them into purple ones. And let's see if we can get one stunning row. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, so now we're safe for this round. Cast darkness for more gems. Cast the ultimate spell. It's only level 1, but it's going to generate 2 gems. And remember that each one of them is increasing the spell damage by 20%, so an additional 40%. And I don't know how many, well, let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 48 minus 10 is 38. So right now the damage is increased 38 by 8. Let me open the calculator and let's see what it is. Let me show you. Okay, 38 times 8 is 304% of the base damage. All right, 304 plus this 40%, that's 340% additional damage. So this should kill. And yeah, well, obviously, if I get a critical hit, that's gonna kill for sure. That was unexpected. Anyway, uh, we can stun the next opponent, so we're good to go. Next turn, as you can see, our ultimate is completely filled thanks to the crossbow. So let's use climb the peak first, then transform. We got a stunning row here for the next opponent. Use darkness. Okay. And let's cast the ultimate. Okay, now it's 48 minus 6, that's 42, minus 3, that's 39. So the base damage it should be 300% if I'm not mistaken. Yes. No, it was 304. Let me check. Yeah, it was 304, so it's 296 plus 20 times 6, so 120 for a total of 296, 396, 416, if I'm not mistaken. So he should be dead. And yeah, that was more than enough. And for the last enemy, again, he's stunned automatically. We don't have to worry about it. And yeah, as you can see, the ultimate spell is getting filled out automatically. So it's a huge impact that you can have with just the crossbow, or if you prefer the 4 um, knight set. Okay, this time there were only 2 blue gems, which isn't very good. So this one, and it didn't proc the extra ones, so this one is going to be considerably weaker than the previous ones. Okay, but still pretty decent, I think. So let's slow down and see. He has 109,000 health and almost 50,000, so that's 100, almost 160. Total, will it kill? Yeah, 185. All right. So that's the build. Well, of course, I wasn't taking into consideration that each turn that passes, as you can see with this equipment, which is not very good, I only have 1079 power, but every time I cast Climb the Peak, it's increasing my power by 80 something percent. So yeah, the longer the battle takes, the stronger you will get with a build like this. And that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.